Hello, my name is Meg Fulgerson, and I'm a school librarian in the DFW area. I am also working on finishing up my MLS with Texas Women's University. This is just a short professional development meant to introduce you to teachingbooks.net, a resource the site creators refer to as a library of instructional materials, and it's intended for K through 12 literary works. After today's session, educators should be able to utilize teachingbooks.net for basic selection of works, lesson planning, classroom tasks, and development of curriculum. You can access this database by using the site name teachingbooks.net in the address bar, or you can use your district portal. Just select the app. Once on the database, you can log in as an educator with your district email, as a student with your district credentials, or you can continue to use the site without logging in, although a few of the features like emailing or submitting text complexity will not be accessible. You can search for books specifically, or you can search using a number of filters. For this right now, we're going to browse. And as you can see, there are a number of options to help you filter your search to find what you're looking for. In this case, we're going to say we want to find a book for 7th graders. As you can see, a list of results populates, and we have more than 30,000 books to choose from. Obviously, we're going to need to narrow down our search a little bit. Over on the left-hand side, you can see a number of options. Let's say we want a book that specifically focuses on women or girls. And maybe we also want this book to contain trailers so that our students can get a visual understanding of what the story is about. Here you can see the search results are much smaller and more focused. We're going to select a book, and it's going to take us to a landing page with information about this book and all of the resources that this site has to offer in relation to it. You can also search specifically for a book. So let's stick with 7th grade and say that our students are going to be reading Lightning Thief. Now, you can type pretty quickly and get to what you're looking for. I suggest going a little slower though, because you'll see below a list is populating. This has been great for realizing other resources that are out there in relation to the book. For example, there is a graphic novel by the same author. This might be a good option for struggling learners or students really needing another way to connect with their work. In this case, we're just going to select the book. This takes us back to the same landing page we saw earlier. We have the book name, what it looks like on the cover. You can also look at a summary, and it's going to give you a lot more information. And again, you have your table of contents, which provides all the information that this site has to offer in relation to the book. If you scroll down on the right-hand side, you'll see text complexity. This is where teachers go in and use a rubric to answer questions, and you can find out more information about how teachers feel this book stacks up in specific areas. Below text complexity are a number of other options. One I found particularly useful as a first-year librarian is genres, and for labeling my books with different colors based on their genre, I can go here quite quickly and figure out what area most likely they will fall under if I have any questions. Another option that's particularly great for special education teachers working on IEPs, or reading specialists, or even librarians who are required to help students select books within a specific reading range, is the text complexity. That's going to give you your common leveled reading numbers and connections. If you continue to look below, you'll see a related book list. This is very useful if you have a student who falls in love with a book and you want to find related items, or if maybe you're wanting to select multiple books to have students compare. Going back up to teachingbooks.net original content, you're going to find a number of items that was developed specifically by teachingbooks.net for this site. This first option here is a Meet the Author book reading. This is a short audio session in which the author describes the backstory for how he came up with the idea for the lightning thief. Another option, which I am in love with, is the audio name pronunciation. This is a short audio snippet in which an author tells you how to pronounce their name and sometimes even gives you the backstory on how they got their name. This is great for those moments where you kind of mumble the name because you're not really sure how to admit that you don't know it, or if you're even arguing with someone else about how to say it. It's just a great little feature. The next option in this category is the in-depth written interview. It's another created resource by teachingbooks.net, and it's just a longer option to the Meet the Author book reading I showed you earlier. As you can see, it's a Q&A session that is much more in-depth. This might be a good option for pre-AP students, whereas you might offer the audio version to your resource students who might be overwhelmed by the amount of information in this session. However, in about 2 weeks, you're going to see a great option pop up on the site, and it's going to allow this text to be converted into audio, and that's going to be on pretty much every page within the site. They are really working on making everything within the site accessible to all people at all levels. Going back and scrolling down, you'll see the next category is about the author. This is not only going to give resources provided by teachingbooks.net, but it's also going to give you links to the author's personal website and their own blog. Below that, you're going to see book trailers. These can be trailers from fan sites, from other librarians, or even some really high-quality productions like Scythe has one from Entertainment Weekly. Next, you see book readings, and these can be in audio or visual formats. In this case, it has Meet the Author book reading with Rick Warden, and you also see the audiobook excerpt option. Next, we have the heart of the site. This is something that they pride themselves on doing. And anybody who's been an educator for some time knows that you can spend hours trying to find resources for your lesson plans. Going online, trying to find links, trying to find different options for discussions or worksheets. They have gone out and found quality resources and given you all of those links right here in one location. So you can see right here at the top, our option 1 is Reader's Guide from Disney, and that takes you to their link, which provides everything from background on characters and the plot to discussion questions and worksheets. It's just a great resource. And then going down, you're going to see even more options from different collaborators such as Scholastic. You have Storyboard and even activity guides. And what's great about these is even within them, you're going to see that you have even more links that you can go to. So it can be a little bit of a rabbit hole sometimes, but you are not trying to go all over the web finding this information yourself. It's all here in one location for you. As you can see below, there are a number of other resources you can use, such as vocabulary lists, more interviews, awards, and other resources related to this and other books in the series. One of the best features of the site is the ability to quickly and effectively share information with students and families. And you can do this by using the tools over here on the right, and this allows you to share everything you see here on this page about this book. Or you can share individual items with students so that they're not going through 18 steps to find what you're wanting them to look at. So here I would just click share, and you'll see a number of options populate. Here you can click on, for example, bookmark, and it's going to create bookmarks specifically with QR codes for this video. And so you can also create a flyer that might go on your board, or you can directly place it on one of your learning management systems. So you can see I have the video link right here for my students to see. one of the great options about this site is the ability to change the language of what you're sharing with the students. So here you can see I can select, let's just do Spanish, and it's going to change everything on my flyer for these students into Spanish, including the link it's going to. If I wanted to even use that earlier in-depth interview, I can change the language on that as well. Now we're going to make it Korean. So you can see it gives options for students who may be newcomers, ESL, or just struggling learners that aren't quite where they need to be yet. Another great option is creating custom reading lists. And this is great for teachers or even for the students creating the list themselves. And you can go up to do My Account and My Lists, or in this case, I'm just going to click on Add to Custom Reading List. I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to say Add to List. And I'm just going to edit that out and get it named. So here I'm going to say I want Lit Circles for the third 6 weeks. So now all I have to do is seek out those books. I just added Lightning Thief, so now I'm going to say Refugee, because our students just done doing that one. Add to list, and I'm going to choose the one I wanted on. Add to list. I'm going to go back up, and we're going to do Giver. Add to list. Again, choose the one you want it on. By the end of it, you'll have a number of items on there. Maybe we'll go do The Outsiders. And now I want to go look at my list and see what I have so far. So I go up to My Account and My Lists. And as you can see, it's populated right here. So if I'm going to go in and look at this, I can hit View. And it's going to bring up everything we just added. And this is going to take you to those same landing pages we've been showing this whole time. Now let's say I want to share this list with my students because they get to go in and pick which book they want to do. And I can do it by QR code. I can put it on Google Classroom. Maybe even I want to put it on my calendar in Google or even on Outlook. However I want to share it. We're going to say QR flyer just because it's simple and easy right now. I'm going to post it on my board so students can go up and scan the code and they can start looking through those books to decide which one is best for them. And again, if they forget how to do it, the beautiful thing about the flyer is it has the information on there for them. So again, very quick, very easy way to share this information with students each step of the way. So going back to our agenda, I really wanted you to be able to leave today with enough basics that you can go ahead and start using this database for your lesson plans next 6 weeks. I have created a checklist for each PLC group. If you'll notice, 8 through 9 also includes the evaluation data in each category, just giving me an idea of the features you found most interesting, any questions you still have, as well as areas that you would like to see further professional development on. Because again, what I've gone over today is just the basics. There's a lot more depth to the features on this database. Continuous evaluations will be conducted through short surveys each 6 weeks. These will identify how we are utilizing the sites and provide opportunities to develop more creative ways to use teachingbooks.net with students and families. Thank you for listening, and feel free to contact me with any questions.